voice of stern rebuke? Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. 1 Kings 17, verse 9. Elijah had been miraculously fed for many months by the brook Cherith, but now the brook had run dry. The widow whom God had designated to care for his prophet was not an Israelite, but she was a believer in the true God and walked in all the light shining on her pathway. Amazingly, Elijah could not find safety in Israel, but had to find refuge in a foreign country. Well, it was led by a non-believer. The widespread famine had affected the widow as well, and when Elijah arrived, he discovered how little food she had. In fact, the remaining oil and flour would only make one final meal for her and her son. After that, starvation seemed to be their only prospect. So Elijah's request for a little food was a true test of her faith. And what a reward she received in response to her remarkable faith. Her barrel of flour and the jar of oil did not fail until the famine ended and the rains returned. 3 years passed since Elijah stood before Ahab and announced God's judgment against the nation. Now, when the prophet and the king again came face to face, Ahab's question was this: Art thou he that troubleth Israel? Typical of the wrongdoer to hold God's messenger responsible for the consequences of his own wickedness. And Elijah turned the question back on Ahab, requesting that he gather 450 of Baal's prophets that ate at Jezebel's table to a meeting on Mount Carmel. Today there is a need of the voice of stern rebuke, for grievous sins have separated the people from God. Infidelity is fashionable. The smooth sermon so often preached, prosperity gospel, just believe in God and you're going to be rich, they have no lasting impact and are forgotten as soon as the potluck bell dings. The trumpet does not give a certain sound. Men are not cut to the heart by the plain, sharp truths of God's Word. In times of crisis, God is looking for those who are prepared to make an unambiguous stand for the right, regardless of consequence. As again, what is the reward